What's good, ladies? Good morning, y'all.
Who's first? Ladies. Who's first? Ladies. Who's first? Ladies. What time is it? It's time for the ladies.
Yes, y'all.
Ladies. Ladies. It's the ladies first Chit-Chat crew. It's time for the ladies.
Of course, we got
Ladies.
Unbossed, y'all.
It's the ladies first Chit-Chat crew.
You can't forget about Crystal.
Edmee, and we're up first.
What's good, Michelle? Of course, we got Chondra in the building.
Speak what you want. Be great. Speak what you
And of
want.
course, our founder,
Be great.
the ladies
Speak
first
what you
Chit-Chat
want. Be
Nikki.
great. And we're
So I need you to throw your hands up in the air, get up out your seat if you're at home. It's time to get hyped.
Unbossed.
It's time to get educated.
Unbossed.
It's the ladies first Chit-Chat crew.
Up first.
Let's go.
Yes, ladies. Yes, ladies.
I heard bonjour.
Purple Diamond. What's up, y'all? How you doing? Welcome to the Ladies First Chit-Chat crew, where we honor the voice of the everyday woman. Speaking of woman, how are my ladies doing this morning? How y'all doing?
Morning.
Fantastic.
You know, life is better with a cup of coffee.
Life is better.
In a beautiful mug. In a beautiful mug.
Look,
Cheers.
Coffee.
Mine on a straw.
Stacey said, love the theme song. Thank you, Stacey. It was written by Miss Crystal JG. Yes. Welcome back, y'all. I'm still on the high from last week. Last week's show was absolutely amazing. It was great being back with you all. How has your week been going? Crystal, tell the people what you did this morning. Tell them what you did this morning. I'm hyped. You got me hyped about it.
I was on a exercise hiatus for a few weeks or months. So I started walking again this week, and I thought it was just going to be like, muscle memory. Everything just comes back real easy. Your girl been pushing, honey, right? But I said, but it's okay. And really that's, part of this sisterhood and support and everything too. I like, I'm learning to not be as hard on myself as I used to be. So I was like, wherever I have to start is where I start. And, if I can do 20 minutes, we're going to do 20 minutes. And then I push to 30 minutes and it's 30 minutes. Today I did 31. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just getting, I'm walking. Yeah, so I'm really just I am putting myself first by upping my commitment to regular movement, whatever that is. I'm walking right now and I feel good.
That is so awesome. Awesome. I mean, it's really, me, it's all about finding what makes you feel good physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, right? And so I think that is so great. Yay.
But wait, let me just say this too. So every day that I walk, I screenshot my results, 30 minutes, 1 mile, whatever. And I texted to Nikki with a real ratchet picture of me looking like a wildebeest. No hair, no you know what I mean? We ain't cute when we walking ish. And I was just like, and my friend Julie, who's like, I did it, guys. So that's what sisterhoods do.
That's what sisterhood is about. And this morning I sent her a picture of Bobby Brown. Did you know she loved Bobby Brown? Michelle, how are you? How are you, lovely?
Good morning, ladies.
I was listening to you this morning as I went on my walk. That's like my Saturday morning ritual. I listen to Abandoned Ordinary.
Oh, I love it. I recorded 2 Abandoned Ordinary episodes this morning. I woke up out of my sleep with something on my mind. So I just hopped into the studio and I ended up recording 2 episodes. But I am well. Thank you for listening. I'm feeling good. I'm glad it's sunshiny. We had a week of a lot of rain, which I like too, a lot of cleansing. But I feel good. I feel refreshed this morning. And I'm happy to be back with y'all.
Yes, and that blue is just popping in the back. I love it. Yes. Miss Shonda, it's okay, Shonda. Don't pout. Don't pout. Your blue looks so good. It looks so good. It just
Yeah, I really do have on blue. It looks black. But
what shade of blue is that,
It's
Shonda?
funny, it looks green when you hold it up.
I know it's navy blue.
It looks so good. It looks black.
It looks army green.
I'm out of here. I'm like,
Hilarious.
see, this is a jean jacket. This is a blue jean jacket. Something's wrong with the discoloration in here.
Yeah, because that looked black too.
I look black too.
Yeah,
Does that jean jacket sparkle?
No, that's what I'm saying. Something I must have like a color
I was
filter
gonna
on
say
or
I
something.
want it.
How are you this morning?
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. I'm doing great.
Say, glory.
That takes Crystal down every time. I'm doing really good, y'all. Let me tell you. You guys know, I don't know if you remember or not, but like early last year, like in the beginning, when I was like trying to figure out like things I could take off of my plate to make my plate a little bit empty so I could put things that I could do and need to do on my plate. Cooking was one of them. Taking that off my plate. And I got a private chef that was so great. It's a friend of mine. He's an amazing chef, and he would come and prepare meals for our family and do all this stuff. And then he got big. So we lost him. So this week was just a week of celebrating him because he has just, he's always been on the rise, but like he just kind of blew up because he won Chopped. And I'm so excited. He won Chopped, and he's like Tyler Perry's private chef now, and he goes down to the studio, and like because the people there are when they're shooting, they have to quarantine for 14 days before they can do everything. So he's the private chef for the lot of all the people who come there because they can't get outside food, they can't do a lot of different things. So he's been going down to Atlanta and in the beginning of their quarantine, training a team to cook for them while they're there. And he's been doing that since they kind of started back working. But this week was just celebrating him. And so I've been on a high because his face is everywhere. And I'm just like, oh my God, my little couple $100 don't mean nothing to you no more. But yeah, so I'm super, me, Autumn, and Callie were just super excited. We did a surprise screening for him Thursday. And so he thought he was just coming to dinner with one friend. And it was just like a group of 10 of us that have, supported him and been here in the city with him because he's from DC. So, or Baltimore, excuse me. Let me say it right. Baltimore. So yeah, I'm good. I'm in a great mood today. Can you tell?
Yes, that's amazing. It's so good to have a great, like we have a great group of sisterhood. We're telling everybody join the sisterhood, a great group of friendships that can just pour into you and celebrate you. And I thank you, Chondra, for doing that for your friend. I saw the photos. It was great. It was so good.
I'm so super excited.
Miss Edmee, how are you today?
I am good. I'm right there with Crystal. Started working out again. I got in 4 times. I'm just getting on the bike, biking away. I actually do like 75 minutes on the spinning bike. I'm just watching Netflix movies. And I'm thinking today I might get on the bike and listen to Miss Michelle podcast because I have my bag, I have my stuff. Today I was like, I'm gonna get my cardio in, I'm gonna get my weights. You know how much I hate doing weight on my own, Nikki, right? So today is, let's get that full body. I was like, you know what? Lucas and his dad and Ais has stuff to do. I'm gonna take 2 hours and just kill myself in a good way. And then I'm gonna go home and do nothing.
Yes. Yes, go home and do nothing. Yes, Edmee, you look
Nothing.
beautiful in your blue. Yes. Nikki, Unbossed. What's going on with your blue white on?
I know. I got on baby blue. It's supposed to be soft and sweet. God, I'm listening to y'all and I'm like, I gotta get my life a little bit more fabulous. I have a little bit more to talk about. Like, I'm like, what do I have to talk about? Y'all have so much to say. And I was also thinking while all y'all was speaking, I've had the same last like 25, 30 pounds I need to get rid of since like November. And I need to work on that and start walking too. Cause I was doing like 5 miles a day, 7 days a week. And then I just stopped. So, all right, commit to myself as soon as I get back home, cause I'm in Georgia again. I'll start that again. So y'all have inspired me. But I'm feeling good. I'm in Georgia. I'm watching my daughter's team, play softball. I'm out here with my family, extended family, people who have come to support us and just, hang out with us and through Wednesday. So I'm feeling good.
Hey, Nick, you look beautiful. People say she loves your sweater. What's up, viewers? We're hollering at y'all. How you doing? Throw in the chat. Let us know how you are doing. Myself, if I'm being totally honest with you, I'm not doing well today.
Thank you,
I'm not doing well today. And I'm having a little flat of a morning. Usually I'm trying not to cry because I'm touched, moved, and inspired by something. But we say join the sisterhood, and one of the things that we say that we pride ourselves in being very transparent. And usually I'm real upbeat and happy-go-lucky. But today I am not feeling my best. And so I am grateful to be on with you ladies this morning. And I just seeing you and also seeing all the people in the chat and seeing the number in the left side of the corner and seeing DJ John Quick is bringing my spirits up. So if I seem a little off this morning, I'm blessed that I got 5 amazing ladies, sisters right here to carry this thing through. And in saying that, I want to get into our topic today. Y'all, this entire week, I haven't really been watching the news like that. Billy and I tape David Muir. I was like, oh my God, we getting old. We tape Worldly. We would tape. I sound old. We DVR Worldly Nightly News with David Muir. And I haven't really been watching it like that just because the news has been really getting to me. I was watching the news this morning, of course, the thing with Dante White, of course, the thing with this little 13-year-old boy and all this stuff. And it was just frustrating me. And so I went to go take a little walk and listen to Michelle Wooten and a couple other things. And it made me go really think about our topic today and really think about my voice and what can I do to stand up and does my voice matter? And it made me think about our topic. Our topic today, the pain of silence. Is your voice the medicine? And I was right, and I said our voices are so powerful that when we speak, we change the world. So why are we sometimes silent about the things that we see? How often do we sit in uncomfortable places and not use our voices? Today, we are going to recognize and evaluate the silence, identify our voices, and we're going to take action, y'all. And this is all culminated from a conversation that we had today. That we had this week, the Ladies First Chit-Chat crew. We were just chit-chatting and talking, and Chondra sparked it off with talking about this amazing Broadway star named Karen Olivio, who used her voice to stand up about something that wasn't sitting right with her spirit. And I want to kick the show off by putting a little video of her And then I want to throw it to Chondra and have Chondra kick us off and just break it down and really get into the conversation this morning. So I'm going to start it off.
Hi, friends. I'm just going to save this later so I can just go ahead and start. I'm coming on here because I want to let everyone know before it goes into the spin cycle why this is an important time and how we can actually sort of like use our power in situations. And I was talking to my students this morning about why I'm not going back to Moulin Rouge. And as I was talking to them about it, I was like, oh, right. This is actually important for all of us because I could easily go back to a show and make a lot of money. But I still wouldn't be able to really control what I was putting out into the world. And what I'm seeing in this space right now with our industry is that everybody's scared and nobody is really doing a lot of the stuff that needs to be done. People aren't speaking out. My heart is racing right now. So yeah, social justice is actually more important than being the sparkling diamond. Building a better industry for my students is more important than me putting money in my pockets. Building a better industry, I'm yelling now, building a better industry is more important than putting money in my pockets. For all y'all who don't hear me. Hi, friends. I'm just going to save this later.
That was the beginning of it. I want you guys to hear the second part too. Hold on.
What are you afraid of? Shouldn't you be more afraid of not saying something and more people getting hurt? Y'all hearing me? Come on, y'all. Humanity. We're talking about human beings, not about where your career is going to go. The dream of what we were going for, making art, the moment we stepped into this capitalistic structure, that went away. Now you in the business. So now it's about humanity. What is your integrity saying that you should do? You going to protect your pocketbook? And let people go to the emergency room so you can do your next concert? Yeah, that's it. I don't need to be on a stage. I need to be out here. People are more important than your pocketbook. That's it. That's all that needs to be said from here on out. I value humanity more. I want a theater industry that matches my integrity. Come on, y'all. Why don't we go make it? It's not here, obviously. Let's go make it. Let's divest and invest in ourselves. Let's put our money with people who value human life and respect human life. It's easy. That's it. Y'all got
That's it. That's it. And I want to throw this to Chondra. She shared this with us and started talking about Karen. And I'm going to let Chondra tell you who she is and why this really sets a precedent, especially in the Broadway theater community, and how this woman is using her voice to speak up, and people are listening. And she could have easily been afraid because of who she is and her pocketbook.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I can't be silent anymore. Go ahead, Chondra.
So Karen is a Broadway staple. She has been in the industry for over 20 years, probably a little bit longer than that, but professionally has been noticed for over 20 years. She's originated many roles on Broadway, and she is just a name for our community. And when Broadway shut down, she was considered to be one of the highest paid principals on Broadway. And so for her to take such a stance is just, kind of eye-opening and groundbreaking, because she's a woman of color. She is a woman, and there's just a lot of injustices that have been happening before the shutdown, and still even right now to this day, that are still happening. So for her I brought this conversation to the ladies because I was just, interested in knowing their thoughts about people who stand up versus people who don't, because a big conversation that started happening on different like some of our forums for our union and different things like that was just like, yeah, she can do that. She has the money to be able to take a stand. And, it felt the people who didn't necessarily have as deep as pockets as they think she has, were feeling like they didn't have a voice and they couldn't say anything, or they couldn't take a stance because they felt like they were going to get whatever, blackballed, be without a job, all the gamut, right? But I was saying to them on there, I was just like, yo, y'all ain't worked in over a year, 13 months. Y'all ain't worked. And half of us didn't qualify for unemployment. So, you have made it without this industry that we allow to slap us and beat us up. We've made it without them. And creating pure art, doing things that is not, so boxed in. And so for her to take a stance when we're on the verge of coming back is so like just inspiring and helping so many people understand and realize that you do have a voice no matter what level of you are on this playing field that we're all on. It doesn't matter where you fit or where you stand or where you fall. It just really matters about how you use your voice or how you take a stance for yourself. It doesn't have to be for a whole community of people. And that's like, different conversations keep coming up, and it's just like, I don't know if you guys remember in the beginning of the pandemic, I had said, I'm not the one to go out and protest. That's not me. Like, I don't like crowds on a regular basis. Like, that's just not me. But I do know and use my platform in other ways to show my protest, just like the other conversation we had about when the white women were allowing the Black women to like take over their Instagrams and like come onto their Instagrams. I was like, that's not my ministry. I don't want to come on your Instagram and talk about stuff. I want you to talk about it on your Instagram, and I'll talk about it on mine, And so I just kept trying to, like, on the forums that I was engaging in, I just really kept trying to get people to understand their own power, because we are so taught to live through other people's power. Like, we're taught to if such and such do it, then it's okay. If whomever, if even a big name, like if Michelle Obama says it's okay, then it's okay. Like, no, if Chandra Prophet Ardre, let me say my whole government, if Chondra Latisse Prophet Ardre feels like I need to take a stance against something or for myself, even in my own house, like that is something that I have to get within me first. It doesn't have to have an outward, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? An outward, come on, Shelly.
A cosign, honey. You don't need a cosigner.
Yes, good word, you know? And I think that now that Karen has taken this stance, it's allowing people of the whole gamut to feel like, oh, you're right, I don't need a cosigner. And I actually feel terrible have felt terrible being in this situation and have been looking for ways out, but couldn't find a way out. And like her taking this stance has created little windows for people to say like, oh, okay, I can go this way. I can, you know, try this. I can do that. So I don't know what else you guys think about this situation, because it's just, it gets my bubbling.
You bubbling. You said something though, Michelle, and then Grace just said permission. Why do we feel like we need a cosigner? Why do we feel like we need permission? Shelly, does it come back to a worth thing? Does it come back to we're just scared? Why?
It's it depends on the person you're asking. But I think in our society, we really start out conditioning human beings to wait for approval, right? With our children, right? Ask me before you take that out the refrigerator. I'm going to tell you when to sleep and eat and everything else. Like, we really start conditioning humans from a very small age to wait for permission. School is a setting that makes us wait for permission. So we get conditioned around it, but it never dims that internal light inside of you that says, this is not right for me. And so there's so much that can be playing in a person's mind. Like Karen came out now, which is amazing. And it is definitely having some strong ripple effects within her industry and outside of her industry. But I mean, I'm sure that, a week ago, or whenever she made this announcement, wasn't when she first felt these injustices. It wasn't when she first felt invalidated or minimized or belittled or disrespected. Right. And we all go through that. We all have that. But
let me interject real quick on that, because she did come back and was talking about that on a different post. She was saying, like, this is an industry that she helped build for 20 years. And this is stuff that she has been not saying anything about for decades, for years. And it just coming out of the pandemic, and just being away from it and really being able to see how tainted and how just a mess it is. And you're like, she was like, do I really want this stain on me?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes when you're in it, you don't see what's going on.
Right. That's what I was just going to say. You are so inundated with the world that is happening around you, right? What you're trying to do, what your family wants, what your kids want, what your mate want, just all of it is swirling around you like your own personal tsunami, that you don't have a sit still moment to be like, okay, forget all of that. What is really working? What hurts? What doesn't hurt? And that is exactly the gift of what happened last year. That's what we've talked about this all last year. Like, there are gifts in this time out. And our voice is literally the primary and the first level of medicine that we can use to help us change where we are, access what we need. Like, it is our voice is our medicine, but our fears are rooted in a million reasons. But honestly, I'm going to say this. The reasons don't matter. When you feel to the level that it's just totally, you are uncomfortable in your own skin, it's time to let that out, let that pain out through your voice. it's time to let that pain out through your voice. Whether you say it to yourself, you write it in a journal, you call a friend, you make a public announcement at your job, you go online, your social media. But when you can't take it and you are feeling your skin crawling because of a set of circumstances you are in or you see, it's time to heal your silence, the pain of that silence with your voice, and say anything, say something.
I think that is so powerful. And you said something that I wanted to just hop onto because it came to me yesterday. I was listening to something and an author said something about fear, because I think that is a driving force for a lot of this. If I say something, then, like the if, then, when, right? And we have all of this if, whens that become louder than the thing that we're concerned about. Usually your internal temperature understands when things are not right anyway. And then you do all of this if, when. If I say this, then I might lose my job. I might lose my family. I might, lose this friendship, like all of this stuff, and denying what the authentic feeling was in the first place, and knowing that, how you know when something's wrong. So when I heard this comment about fear, I had to pause. I pulled over because I was driving to write it down. And the author said, I need to give him credit on our next show. He said, the arrival of fear isn't failure. The arrival of fear is an invitation to bravery.
Amen.
And that thing made me stop and pull over.
Say it again, Chrissy. Yeah. Say it again. For the people in the back.
The arrival of fear isn't failure. The arrival of fear is an invitation to bravery. Right? Mm-hmm. That thing arrested me, right? Because I said, when it is time to be brave, people need to get real about what that feels like, because usually you're like, I don't want to be brave. I can't be brave. I'm not brave. Da, 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 da. And then I don't mean to do this, but I'm going to. Then Dante Wright happens.
Exactly.
Everybody, I'm 1:00. I'm going to a march. Why? Because my kid is 6 years younger than him. Then the 13-year-old happens. We have to say something. Now, we've talked about this before. My saying something might be different than Shelly saying something. It may not be that everybody's for a march. It might not be. I tend to change lives by mentoring. Because if I mentor this 20-something and I help her to understand bravery in her 20s, she's not going to be in her 40s sitting in the boardroom scared to say something. That's right. I'm making change like that. So you might be making change by banners. You might be making change by, some other means. But in all of it, if you feel like I should say something, how you sit, how you sit in meetings. Come on, Nikki Unbossed. How we sit in those meetings. Look, when we all used to sit in conference rooms and something is wrong and you're like, I can't say anything. I can't say anything. I can't say anything. That's when you say something, because that's what bravery is. I'm not sure I understand. Are you saying da 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 da? Because, and then what happens after the meeting, the person will say, I'm so glad you said that. I was too afraid to say that. Because you said that, now things will be better. That's usually what will happen. And with this young lady, Karen, her speaking up for the issue that she is bringing to light is going to help a generation of Broadway performers. It's going to shift the paradigm of what happens and what can no longer happen.
And I think, Christy, what you said is going to shape. She teaches. She teaches performing arts, and looking. I'm thinking about my theater kids who I just saw yesterday. I think looking in their faces and remembering being that green kid and wanting to jump into this industry, and all my dreams are going to be true. And I think looking into their faces also made her say, I can't be silent anymore. I don't want them. I don't want them to get there and that dream to get a little crushed, not totally crushed, but a little crushed, you know? And I think, yeah.
Chrissy, I wanna underscore what you said. You know, it is an invitation to bravery. And it takes a lot of us a lot longer to get there because of things like what Shelley said, right? You're conditioned, right? It's not that, you know, we're waiting for that permission, right? Or I don't even know if we're really waiting for permission, because when you talk about work, you really hit something with me there, Crystal. It's sometimes it's just an understanding, right? You know, there's certain things you do and there's certain things you don't because of the position that you fall in, right? And as y'all was speaking, and I even thought about this earlier in the week, what I've been doing over the last year and a half, right, is creating pause in the room. And every single time it was scary. And for me, it did get to a point where it was like, okay, am I gonna just let this, what's happening and how I feel, continue to make me feel the way I feel? Or am I gonna say something and at least let you know? And what happens as a result of that, I found repeatedly, I'm creating pause in the room. And it's not just for the one person that I'm speaking to. I can see it's for many. And I've started and I continue to do that in every scenario I'm in when I don't feel right. And it definitely opens eyes, right? So I encourage people to create pause in the room. Even if it's where it should start is when you first notice, when you notice it with yourself, when you notice it for somebody else, because someone else may not have the bravery to speak up, but you have to do it. But you can't even stop there, because I've noticed once I created pause in the room, you have to continue to help people see, because they start to define it the way they think they hear you or see what you're trying to say, but they may not really get it. So your voice then has to continue, right? You have to continue delivering the message. And that's part of what we're talking about here, where we can have impact, right? And we can drive activities and actions and, you know, just a better response than how things are happening today. So I wanted to underscore what you're saying, because it was a very brave act. And when I remember the first time I did it, and specifically I'm talking about a work environment, it was very scary, because I'm like, this person's my manager.
Yeah.
You know, how is this person going to respond? And it got to a point where it was like, I don't care anymore because I don't feel good.
Right. You can't carry it.
Space where I'm going to be able to be my best me in this space, not only just for me, but even for that person that I work for.
That's right.
Right. So you do it in a decent way, but you let them know it's because I want to give you more of me, but you got to give me the space to be able to do that.
That's right. Say that.
And you know what's interesting? From the first time I did this, and I say it took me many years, because you worry about your paycheck, you know, but it took me many years. This same person, one of the people I'm thinking about recently, came back to me since a year later, and they said to me, you do not know how much I have learned from you. You do not know how much you have helped me grow. So we need to speak up. We can't we are saying no for people before we give them the opportunity to say yes.
That is another show.
How many times I've been telling y'all to stop making choices for me?
Write that down. That's a whole nother show.
Yes. We are saying no before we give other people the opportunity to say yes.
Right. Don't make the choice for them. Yes. Give them the opportunity. Let me give you another word that is like maybe can trigger something for people's brain other than bravery. Is confidence. Lachelle, shout out to Shelly, master social worker who came onto my Wellness Wednesday this week, and she gave a list of things, and literally I didn't realize that it coincided together, Shelly, but it literally her wellness, her mental health minute was literally ways to raise your confidence, because when you have higher confidence, it is the key to making hard decisions. And so the 3 things is self-awareness, self-trust, and self-expression. And being able to use those 3 things, self-awareness, self-trust, and self-expression through your confidence to be able to make hard decisions. Come on
now. Come with it.
And go ahead.
I want to jump in.
Oh,
yes.
No, I was just saying it's so true. Confidence is a whole nother word for bravery.
It is. And you know, when I started off saying, why do we feel like we need permission, and why do we feel like we need a cosigner? That's it. It's that confidence. And I, you know, and I have to say that, yeah, maybe when we talk about Karen for a hot moment in her voice, she was quiet at first because she was the new girl for a long time. And then all of a sudden she probably woke up and was like, oh no. But that was the self-awareness of knowing who she is and the self-trust. So now let me self-express. You feel me? And I
feel you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I really think I think confidence is the thing. And sometimes when we sit there, and prime example, when we first started during the pandemic and when everything was going on last summer, when we were talking about the whole branding, I remember I was saying that I was quiet because I'm just thinking about this because I was worried about my brand or worried about what people would think. But I think it was deeper than that. I just had an aha moment. I was in a space where I was confident. I was confident in who I am and what I bring to the table and who I am. And if my confidence doesn't gel with you, then
Okay.
it's okay.
That's right.
So it was deeper than the brand. It was having the confidence. And that's why I started to speak out. And the silence was deafening me, like Carmen said earlier. It's wow. That was just an aha moment for me. That confidence is where we get to sit with ourselves when we said stuff doesn't feel right or the gut doesn't feel right, and we get an opportunity. What did Nikki Unbossed say? What she say? Make space, quiet the room,
quiet, pause.
Create pause in the room. It's interesting when it happens too. When you say something, there's a couple things that happen. When you say how you feel, you're either saying something for someone else who didn't wanted to say it, noticed it, didn't say it. You're saying it to someone who didn't even see it, but now that you say it, they now see it, right? There's so many different scenarios that you're hitting on that all of a sudden no one has anything to say.
And nowhere
and
to hide.
for you to give them the answer.
Yes. Yeah,
that's right.
Because now
ahead,
everybody notices.
Right. Even if you don't agree with what I articulate in my confident, brave moments, you're going to learn something.
You're going to learn something. That's it.
I like that.
We're all in the state of
like
learning. Because even if I don't agree, I'm going to learn something, right? And if we're all in a state of learning, George Floyd doesn't happen. Dante Wright doesn't happen. Breonna Taylor doesn't happen. If we're all in a state of learning, it's the not
Michelle,
learning, the refusal to learn that is killing us. That silence is the
Literally.
pain, is the global pain.
Michelle,
Go
I think
ahead,
you just
Edmee.
said something key. So when I first heard the video, Nikki, one of the things that shot and screamed out to my ears is how she said she chooses humanity over her pocket. And as I'm listening to everything that we're talking about and what you just said, Michelle, it's key. Is what is the core of humanity? Respecting each other, accepting each other. If you listen to somebody talk, giving them the space, like you were talking, Nikki and Boss, giving them the space to speak, giving them the space to accept that maybe what they say is not okay with me, but I respect that person and I'm going to treat them in a humane way that their words, even if I might not agree, I am going to respect it. And I think it's a really, really, very, very important. And that's one of the things that I'm noticing nowadays is we are getting closer to technology and getting further away to the core of humanity. And as you know, I am raising a fantastic 16-year-old little young, I'm not going to say little girl because she's not a little girl anymore. She's about to turn a beautiful young lady. And one of the things that this young lady, although she drives me insane, we all know that she's, crazy. Anyhow, one of the things that she's taught me is Jesus and God. I'm going to go way back. And if we go back to the core, if we go back to the 10 Commandments, what does it say? It teaches us to live together and appreciate each other and our differences and treat each other with respect, love, and care.
Yes.
And whatever happens to that in any case situation, because if we were to really go back to humanity and embrace humanity and treat each other, whether you're white, Spanish, Asian, black, Puerto Rican, whatever the fuck you are in this world, but keep that and always act with that as the core.
Yep.
Can you imagine where we would be now versus where we are?
Yeah, but that's a whole nother discussion. The problem is people don't see it, right? People don't.
But it's it's like we're talking about pause and listening and respect, but it really goes back to I am confident who I am. I'm confident about where I stand, but I'm confident also and respectful enough to allow my neighbor to be confident in their own space. And we don't gotta shoot at each other. I don't have to agree with you. But if I approach everybody that approach with that line of respect and love and care and confidence and all that other blah blah, we'll be in so much better place.
Yeah.
We can agree to disagree all for the rest of our life with that principle. And that's what she talked about it when she said, I'm choosing humanity over my pocket. That was it for me.
No, me too. That made me like what you're saying, the ping. I was like, that definitely. And also when she said, I want to work in an industry that matches my integrity. And that statement alone is like across the board.
Amen.
I want to
across the board, yes.
I don't want to do anything that does not match my integrity.
Nothing.
Period. And that goes back to my declaration for my personal new year was to do things only that bring me joy. Yep. Doing things that bring me joy is also aligned with things that are integrous for me. So, you know what I'm saying? Like it just all kind of like flows together. That's my motto is like when you take care of yourself, everything else flows easy.
But just stop right there for a second. Lachelle, remember we were talking about like how this also bleeds into like what people might be afraid to say in their homes.
Yep.
Or in their, can you talk a little bit? I don't know if I can't tell you what you said, but it was amazing.
But you know what
I said? What I remember us talking about this week was that your voice, using your voice, right? Because silence can be painful, right? In many instances, but it is as small as using your voice to say how you're feeling, uncomfortable, unrecognized, belittled, whatever it is, right inside your home, right inside your bedroom, right inside your kitchen, right? That is as big of a stand as what Karen is saying, what protesters are saying. Like the silence and you using your voice as a healing medicine for your pain really can begin right in the smallest, closest circumstance that you are dealing with, right? Because when we go out, all right, I want y'all to catch this. When you go out into the world to fight other missions, and that is not rooted in the foundation that you have said what you needed to say for you, you do not show up in the world as a useful tool. You just don't. You out there. Mm-hmm. Why y'all do this? Because I got lost. But let me say it a different way, right? If you are not speaking, using your voice for what doesn't sit well with you in your personal, intimate life, right? Your mama, your mate, your kids, yourself. If you are not using your voice for that, when you go out to march, to protest, to fight the good fight at the job, you are really not showing up in a useful way, right? Karen, what she said in that little 5 minutes on her Instagram or wherever the heck she put that video, it packed such a punch because she already had this conversation with herself. She already
it.
Right? She already
is it.
To herself, about herself, for herself in a situation that was painful, and it was silence that was her pain. So she had the conversation with herself, and then she came out here and had it with us, and that's why it hit us so hard.
Exactly.
But because that's exactly how it started for me. I had the conversation with myself.
Yeah.
And I got up the next day, and that was my agenda.
Exactly.
And again, this goes back to what I said. I needed to create the space, and I said this to that person, so that I could bring my whole self. Mm-hmm. I can be a better me for me, and I could be a better me for you. Mm-hmm. But you're right. I validate you. Mm-hmm. I had the conversation with myself, and I decided that it was more important for me to tell and share how I was feeling and what I was noticing. Mm-hmm. And I got up the next day and did it.
And that's the whole point, right? It's outwardly facing. It might look like, oh, this is about, really standing up for myself at work. This was about standing up for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Period.
And what you believe in. Because I knew that I couldn't be the only one feeling like this, and I'm tired of it. Mm-hmm. And what I think we're putting before our, sisters here or community of everyone is don't wait. Right? It took me many years to get, in specific situations. And like this one I described, to be able to do that, notice it makes it better for you and for everybody else.
Yeah, the layman's term, the way that Shelly said it in our meeting was, y'all going out here doing all this protesting in the streets, and they did no protesting at home. You at home.
She did say that.
You at home in hell, experiencing hell, and tolerating hell and are unhappy and all these things, but yet you tolerate that, but then go out in the street and feel like you are doing something. You're doing nothing. Your actions is falling on dead ears because you're not, it hasn't even sunk in personally yet. It hasn't
And
even started.
in some ways, you poison the mission.
Oh, you poison the mission. Hey,
you can't bring the toxic. Listen. We need, for these fights we are having around the world, we need the most authentic version of each person to show up on those front lines. Because what you believe and what you feel and how you're impacted is the most powerful expression you could share with anybody in this world.
Yes.
So start at home.
So that leads
start
me to
in the bathroom, in the mirror.
Yes. So that leads me. Those are the action steps, because we say we make room for women to evaluate, and we've been evaluating, and Nikki done told us we need to, create the pause in the room, and we create the pause in the room, and we're evaluating where we are right now, and now we're about to talk about these actions, inspiring them to take actions. What are the actions? I mean, I know we've named out a lot, but as we get ready to wrap up, what are some actions that we get to take, all of us, the Ladies First Chit-Chat crew, the Ladies First Chit-Chat crew viewers, the Sisterhood? What are some actions that we can do right now, today,
I think the first one is have the conversation with yourself. I want to underscore that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And also, someone asked in the chat a while back, like maybe 30 minutes ago, she asked, how do we learn to trust our inner voice? Like, how do we even begin to do that?
I'm going to tell you right now, you don't have to trust it, because if you hear it from the inside, it's correct.
That's what I was going to say. If you feel it, then it's something that needs to be addressed, because remember, and I don't remember Shelley's exact words, but every time you say something or someone else says something, we all learn, right? So even if it's an opportunity for you to learn something different than what you're thinking or feeling, you give that space, the invitation for that conversation to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
So remember, right, when you do speak up, right, create a fair playing ground, right? Don't make it confrontational, right? Leave space for people to grow and learn, right? Yeah. And that includes yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I would say action step is getting that mirror. Something that I used to do a long time ago, and I kind of feel like I should go back to it, is like putting sticky notes on my mirror, and like whatever I was feeling that month or whatever was happening, I am confident. I am a leader. I am whatever I was feeling like I was lacking at that time, I would put on my mirror so that I would see it first thing in the morning, when I'm preparing for wherever I have to do. I would see it, even if I didn't believe it at that time. The act of me seeing it and reading it, or seeing it in my peripheral, it's sunk in regardless, and then like I'm learning now, that's why I've said I feel like I could go back and do it and it will just hit a little differently, is that what I know now with vision and how the universe meets you in that way, like even just having it up there is telling the universe, like, this is something more of what I need. And so the universe is going to go ahead and get you that, because you've already put it up there and you see it, and it's sinking in, at its own pace. And so I would say get in that mirror, honey.
And then I think another step we could take is to have, like, whatever we say in the mirror, right? When it's just us, push yourself to say that to someone else, even if it's someone who is generally kind to you. So no matter what you say, they're going to be like, I hear you, girl. Like, you got to practice, right? Once you start saying it to yourself, then practice saying it to the next person. Like, in Nikki Unbossed example about work, it's like you say it to yourself in the mirror, and you may not be ready to say it in the boardroom, but you can say it to your girlfriends, like, girl, let me tell you what I'm realizing is not working for me here, right? And then you say it there. And
So
then what
practice.
happens, it's practice. It bubbles up. And then the next thing you know, you're in that room, right? Because you even make a conscious decision like, all right, well, I done said it in the bathroom. Now I'm going to say it in the boardroom, from the bathroom to the boardroom. But if you need a little space in between that, then say it to some friendly faces. Let them know how you feel. Get accustomed to hearing yourself say it out loud. Because what's going to happen is you're going to be in that boardroom, and that's just going to pop out your mouth because you surfaced it. You surfaced it.
That's good. I think an action item for me is just really, really being intentional about listening to your internal voice, right? Something happens at home and, we call it a ping. I think I said that to Nikki that she started, but I was like, when you feel that ping, is that ping like, I don't like that. I don't like that. Pay attention to that stuff because none of this stuff is new for us. Like I was always charged with, you're too sensitive. You're so sensitive. You know what? And I hated it. And it was a label that I had to wear, but I am sensitive. But you know what? Being really sensitive makes me really aware, hopefully, prayerfully, of how I'm behaving, how things make me feel. I don't like when people say things like that to me. I'm a really aware person with that kind of stuff. And then the awareness also helps you see when I'm burying it. I don't want to say anything. I'm just speaking for the plus size ladies. So I'm gonna eat something. For some people, I don't really like how that makes me feel. Let me go smoke a cigarette. I don't like how that makes me feel. Let me go talk about somebody. Do you know what I mean? Because I think we all feel it, but then what are you doing to make yourself not feel it? How about awareness so that we can pay attention to this stuff immediately from the Latin word meaning immediately, right? So that we can start changing this stuff and get better. What if it's just like, I don't like how my kid, listen, Edmee, this is for you with a teenage girl. I know something about teenage girls, okay? When they talk to you some kind of way, it's no more like, oh yeah, she's just a teenager. It's hormone. Snatch her up. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right there.
My action item. You just stole my action item.
Okay, I didn't mean to do that, but you know what I mean? My mother was like that. Snatch you up then, not like 6 hours later when your hormones calm down. Maybe it's about the now, the awareness, and even if you don't do something right now, but just being aware of what you are doing.
Acknowledge.
I didn't mean to use that. I mean I just thought about it.
This chat is amazing.
I know.
Maya's like, and Angie broke it all the way down.
She sure did.
Honey.
Let me tell you.
She sure did. It's that feeling in your gut when you know something is off, that intuition that something isn't safe, and you trust that to remove yourself from the situation. When you feel your body react, you need to act.
That's it, Angie. That's it.
That's it.
When you were talking this week, she was like, what's the action? What's the action?
That's it. That's it. Wow. Once again, ladies, this has been an amazing conversation, and we're going to keep having these conversations. To our viewers, we received 11 people that sent us show topics. Keep them coming. We are discussing them. We are finding ways to bring them to the table, and not only with ourselves discussing them, but bringing some guests. Maybe that's their expertise to put out there. So keep sending them to us. This has just been a great conversation. Let's keep it going. I think one of the biggest things that a couple of things, of course, the confidence, the self-awareness, self-trust, self-expression, have the conversation with yourself, get in the mirror, what you're saying to yourself, go say it to somebody else. Be intentional to listening. And then that one thing, what did Nikki say? No, what Michelle said, we going from the bathroom to the boardroom. And what did Nikki say? The pause in the room. What she said? Create
a pause in the room.
Create the pause in the room. Y'all, this has been a great time. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Always growing, always learning. I love us.
I love
us. Growing. We're all growing.
We're all growing. Viewers, keep it coming. Tell your friends to come join the sisterhood. Thank you, Stacy. We got people out in LA. Angela woke up. Y'all know they 3 hours behind us. Woke up.
I'm leaving with chills. Good conversation, ladies. Good conversation.
Yeah. So, y'all, we will see you next week. DJ John Quick, come up in here. DJ John Quick, can you play out what our little theme song one more time? Play us out. Or did you have something else?
Yeah,
wait a minute. John always has something else though. John, you had something else.
He's intuitive.
Yeah, John, you might have had something else. You had something else? Yeah, play what you were gonna play, John. Play what you were gonna play. Go ahead. Oh, wait a minute. I got John on mute. Wait a minute. Let me turn John off.
No, you don't.
Go ahead, John.
Let me talk. Hold on. Basically, I felt your energy coming onto the show, Nikki, and we all enjoy your happy aura. So to hear you sound like that would kind of bother me. So I figure I'm going to play this song to take us out.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
I need everybody to mute. Everybody mute.
Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break.
Once again, thanks for tuning in to the ladies' first Chit-Chat crew. I'm Superhero DJ John Quick with Nikki Unbossed, Chondra, Michelle, Crystal, Edmee, of course, the founder.
Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
And we'll see y'all next week.
Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because clap along if you feel like that's what you want.
See y'all next week. Peace.